I grew up in a house with an MBA father and a mother with a license for financial planning, and both of them loved lecturing me on my money habits. So let's just say I know a thing or two about finance and money. Through childhood teachings from my parents and my own experiences as an adult, I've learned to recognize my bad money habits and break free from them. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 8 of the most common bad money habits that hold people back, and tips on how to break out of them. Number 1. Paying yourself last. I first heard of this in the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. It's one of the blueprints in achieving financial freedom, and millions of people have been inspired by this book since it was first published almost 30 years ago. Robert explains that the way people pay their bills can be broken down into 2 types. The first way is the poor people's habit, and that is through paying yourself last. So as soon as your paycheck comes in, you pay your rent, your phone bill, your subscriptions, you fund your social plans, and then you'll save whatever's left over, if there is even any money left to save. The second method he talks about is the rich people's habit, and they do the complete opposite. They pay themselves first, and that is what you want to do. Take 10% of your income minimum and put that into your savings account the minute you get paid. Treat it like paying a bill that you're paying to yourself. This is so important because by doing this, you're forcing yourself to save so that your money doesn't just slip through your fingers through frivolous spending. A lot of you might be thinking, this is impossible for me to do because I'm already living paycheck to paycheck. Or maybe you feel like you'd have to make a huge sacrifice to your lifestyle to make this happen. But the surprising thing is, when you take that 10% and put it away, you'll forget about it pretty quickly, and your mind will automatically start thinking of ways to live on the 90%. Soon you'll forget all about that money, and your life will feel basically the same. Meanwhile, your savings are growing in the background. Paying yourself first is the most ethical kind of greed. So be a little greedy and always pay yourself first. The second bad money habit is number 2, getting comfortable with bad debt. To be clear, not all debt is bad, and there are a lot of really smart ways to use debt. Rich people use debt all the time, and I made an entire video showing how literally anyone can use debt to make a ton of money. But most people waste the power of debt on dumb purchases. People are using debt to buy all sorts of random stuff, like clothes, presents, weekend getaways, and more. I have a simple rule. If I don't have at least 5 times the price of whatever I want to buy saved up, I don't buy it. So if the new iPhone costs $1,200, I won't even think about buying it unless I have at least $6,000 in the bank. Just to be clear, it needs to be your own money, not debt. So don't just borrow $6,000 from a credit card, transfer it into your bank account, and order the phone. Remember, credit card companies want you to be bad with your finances because that's how they make money. If everyone paid off all their debt on time, Visa, MasterCard, and American Express would all go out of business. The average credit card interest rate is about 22%, which negates any benefits and rewards these credit card companies are providing if you're not able to pay them off in full. But if you truly don't have the self-control to avoid bad debt, just stop using credit cards. The no-debt Dave Ramsey-approved route would be the best thing you could ever do for your finances. But if you have some willpower, then just be responsible and avoid any kind of bad debt. Now let's move on to number 3, not having a stockpile. This actually ties to the first point of paying yourself first. If you consistently pay yourself first, then over a period of time, you should have a decent amount of money saved up in the bank. The general rule, according to most financial experts, is to have enough money piled up to cover your basic living expenses for 3 to 6 months in case of an emergency. Emergencies could include things like sudden expenses, such as a broken bone and an expensive hospital bill, or a damaged car, or any number of different things that could pop up. But the biggest and most common financial emergency for most people is losing their job, especially in this economy. That's why personally, I think saving 6 months worth of expenses should be the goal for most people. This is because it's not uncommon to need up to 6 months to find a new job, even if you're actively applying every day. And the last thing you want during an already stressful job hunt is to worry about running out of money to pay the bills. Recently, I added another source of income to give myself an extra buffer in case I lose my job. It's a great way to make extra money on the side. If you want to check it out, you can learn all about it by clicking the link in the pinned comment. Number 4. Not knowing your income and expenses. This is a problem you need to solve right away if you want to get your finances in order. Just like going to the doctor, your finances also need a complete checkup regularly. There's a famous phenomenon called lifestyle inflation that could be keeping you poor without you even realizing it. Lifestyle inflation is when your expenses go up as your income goes up. This is a vicious cycle that can be really hard to get out of. Let me give you a simple example of lifestyle inflation in action. Jake got a job earning $40,000 a year. He lived in a shared apartment and drove an old car. When he got a raise to $70,000, instead of saving the extra money, he rented a fancier apartment, got a new car, and started eating at expensive restaurants. So even with the higher salary, he had no savings left each month. His spending went up as his pay did. This is lifestyle inflation. If Jake keeps this up, he'll always struggle to save money, no matter how much he earns. To start, you can go through your bank accounts and add up all your expenses and all your income over a few months. If your income is less than your spending, go back to number 1 and start paying yourself first. Number 5. Having expensive hobbies. We all have hobbies, but not all hobbies make your bank account cry. A lot of people love shopping and use retail therapy to make themselves feel better. Of course, a lot of this is due to social media and clever marketing that makes us feel like we need to buy this or that in order to feel happy. But that's just not true. In fact, studies show that the happiness you feel actually comes from the anticipation of buying the thing you want to buy, not actually buying it. You get excited about clicking the shiny order button, and you enjoy daydreaming about your life after you buy the designer bag or fancy shoes. But in reality, that feeling goes away quickly. What doesn't go away is the damage you did to your finances. So be mindful of your spending. And remember, hobbies don't have to cost a lot. A peaceful walk in the park with a friend or loved one can make you happier than a fancy bag ever can. And it's free. Number 6. Focusing only on saving. Fundamentally, there are only 2 ways to build wealth: save more money or earn more money. The problem with most people is that they tend to obsess over just one of these. We all know someone who pinches pennies and would be willing to spend an extra $10 in gas just to drive to a cheaper grocery store where they can save $5. And we might also know someone who is obsessed with climbing the corporate ladder or starting a profitable business, but can't hold on to any money they make. Ideally, you want to do both. You want to save a larger percentage of your income while also working to actively increase your income. Remember, there is a limit to how much you can save, but there's basically no limit to how much you can earn. Whether you start a side hustle like the one I linked below, or you work a second job, increasing your income and saving a larger portion of it is the fastest way to gain financial freedom. Number 7. Paying too much taxes. Oh boy, I'm about to ruffle some feathers today. But hear me out. Jeff Bezos didn't pay income tax from 2016 to 2018, and Warren Buffett paid only $23.7 million in taxes between 2014 and 2018. Despite his wealth increasing by $24.3 billion during that time. And no, they didn't hide all their cash in Swiss banks to make this happen. First, when it comes to non-salary related income, only profit is taxed. That means that while you can report a very high revenue at the end of the year, you can also offset the amount of taxes that you owe by reporting a very high total amount of expenses. Let's take the example of Jeff Bezos, who in 2007 paid $0 in federal income tax, according to ProPublica's investigation. That year, Amazon's stock nearly doubled, and Bezos reported $46 million in income, mostly from interest and outside investments. That entire amount was offset by various expenses. Second, when it comes to stocks, you only pay taxes on a stock once you sell it, a capital gains tax on the profits. But billionaire tech giants hold on to their stock. This is called unrealized gains, and Silicon Valley fortunes are built on them. So if you want to legally pay lower taxes, you should speak to an accountant or lawyer and consider registering yourself as a business. Number 8. Waiting too long to invest. What's the number one excuse people give for not having any money invested? I don't earn enough to invest. I'll start investing once I make so-and-so amount of money. This is a bad idea, because the longer your money sits in a savings account, the more value it loses due to inflation. Especially in these times when the inflation rate is crazy high and we're expecting a recession in 2024. Investing your money is a great way to let your money work for you and generate passive income. I personally prefer to invest my money in broad market index funds such as the S&P 500.
The best single thing you could have done on March 11th, 1942, when I bought my first stock, was just buy an index fund.
And our favorite investor, Warren Buffett, also recommends this for most people. Ideally, it's important to have a good balance of safer and riskier investments to diversify your portfolio. This is really important because in case one of your investments goes down, you still have lots of other safe investments to balance things out. And because index funds are already a mix of stocks from lots of different companies, by investing in index funds, your investments are automatically diversified. Don't leave lots of money in a savings account, and try to use a simple savings account only for your emergency fund. The longer you put off investing, the harder it will be to reach the same level you'd be at if you just started a few years earlier. If you haven't already started, here is why now is the best time to start investing. The market is going down, and we are expecting a recession in 2024. What? How can a recession be a good time to invest? Are you crazy? No, I'm not. The upcoming recession might be your last chance to build wealth and achieve financial freedom. Unless you hate money, click this video, and I'll show you exactly how you can use the upcoming recession to get ahead and unlock financial freedom.